What's up, social media family? It's your boy, big brother, little brother. It just depends on the situation, but it's your boy, Noble Alexander in the building. How y'all doing? How you doing? What it do up in here? We are here. Y'all know how we do this. First and foremost, we want to start off by saying Hotep, Shalom, Salam Alaikum, peace and blessings. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. What's up, social media family? How is everybody doing? I hope y'all had a wonderful evening. Everything with me is just wonderful. I'm definitely having a great time. Been having a great time. And I'm going to always stay having a great time, no matter what it is. That's just, you got to have that, you got to have that attitude, because it's people, entities, and things out here that will, go out of their way to try to make you feel otherwise. And, you'll be surprised how many people, entities, situations, persons, places, and things are just set up to really just like try to test you, try to see how faithful and loyal you are to the Most High, or whatever it is that you stand on. And so, you got to stay down with that, because it's gonna be hard, man. It's gonna be a trial, and they gonna come up against you, and it's all right. It's all right. Some of it may kind of hurt. Some of it may kind of hurt. I ain't gonna hold you. Some of that shit may kind of hurt, but you know what? As long as you secure within yourself with who you are, as long as you solid with the divine spirits, with the ancestors, with the source of everything, with the Most High, that's really all that matters. Trust me. I'm telling y'all straight up. I'm telling you, that's really all that matters. And when you walk like that, and you carry that light, and you carry that that abundance, because abundance ain't just material. Trust me, it ain't just material. But when you walk like that, and you really move like that, people that are with that vibe and are against that vibe, they're going to see it, and they're going to see it on you, and they're going to try to do so many things to try to disturb your peace, disturb your harmony, disturb your foundation. And people will love to try to highlight moments and situations where in their eyes, it's like, again, I'm gonna use myself. It's like, oh, you Noble Alexander. You know how many mofos came like, oh, see, he's not this, he's not noble, he's not. It's like, shit, please, I'm more noble than any mofo your ass know for goddamn show. But I'm not here to prove you right or wrong. I'm just here to be me and live in my path and walk in my path. And that's what you got to do. You got to be comfortable, and you got to be down, and you got to be dedicated to you. Again, you got to be comfortable, and you got to be down, and you got to be dedicated to you and the Most High, because I'm gonna tell you right now, there's people, persons, places, and things that will always try to get you off your A game. They will always try to get you off your A game, and you got to stay focused. So as you can see today, the topic of discussion is the lion's den. Ooh, lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. Today is the lion's den. The lion's den. How many of y'all been into the lion's den? Huh? How many of y'all can actually say you've been in the lion's den? Because see, it's one thing to say something, it's another thing to walk it. See, because anybody could say anything. Anybody could say they this, anybody can say they that. But when it comes down to it, are you really that? Or you know how God say, I am that I am? Are you really that? Because when the moments come, it's going to be the moment of truth. So you're going to always have people that's going to say, oh, I'm this and I'm that. But then when their ass get put into that that fiery furnace or get tossed in there with them lions, and it's all metaphorically speaking, you don't really see what they talking about. All that talk goes out the window. Or you start seeing out of them as a gang of bullshit. You don't see the peace that they say that they was about. You don't see the leadership, the quality or whatever that they say that they were about. This unity, this harmony amongst people. You don't see it. So again, as you can see, the title is The Lion's Den. How many of y'all have been in the lion's den? If you're a chosen one, if you're a generational curse breaker, if you a prophet, if you anointed, like they say, touch my prophets, touch not my anointed, do my prophets no harm. If that's you, you know for a fact you didn't probably been in the lion's den thousands of times, more than once. I know Daniel been up in there more than once, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So first of all, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button for all those who hasn't hit the like button, share and subscribe, okay? You know, we gotta this should be funny as fuck. It's funny. I swear to God. You can say this 1,000 times, man, and you can have like 1,000 views. You would think like, okay, if I got 1,000 people watching, I should have like 1,000 likes, but you might only have like 50 likes. And it should be funny as fuck. So it's like, okay, somebody's watching that shouldn't have, they really shouldn't be here, but they just a monitoring spirit. So we're gonna bust their ass up. All right, just for that, just for playing with us. Okay, so check this out. Today's topic is the lion's den, which is about Daniel. Now, Daniel was a biblical figure. All right, so we're gonna tap back into that, and it's about loyalty and faith. See, it's easy to talk about loyalty and faith when everything's easy. See, some people gotta have everything easy for them because they say they all this, but it's like, if you really are that, why does everything have to be easy for you? You know, and that's what I love about martial arts. That's what I love about combat sports. That's what I love about the system of martial arts that I study, American Ninjutsu Warrior Concepts, because there's this thing where we say we pressure test our techniques, because it's one thing to be able to perform a technique in a dojo and everything's calm, everything's going your way. If it gets too hard, there's going to be somebody over in the corner that says, hey guys, tone it down a little bit, okay? Hey guys, you're hitting and you're kicking too hard, okay? Not so hard, okay? But you got to be pressure tested. That's how you really know who you are. Because if you ain't really pressure tested, you just saying who you are. Under what circumstances have you had to be who you are? And there's I'm gonna get into a story in a minute. There's there's like this, I don't know if I want to say cosmic, but there's like this philosophical, cosmic, higher enlightened type of saying. It's like if you have always been in a protected space, how do you know who you are? It's kind of like what's that boy name? What's that book in the Bible? The book of no, it's a Job, where the God was like, yeah, my servant Job, my servant Job, my servant Job. And the devil was like, yeah, okay, well, he ain't really been through nothing, so let's put him to the test, because it's easy to say this, but he ain't been through nothing. So let's put him to the test, right? So it's like this. It was this thing where it's like kind of how like Adam and Eve. It's like if you were born in paradise, all you know is paradise. How do you know anything other than paradise? Because you were born in paradise. That's all you know. So it's easy to worship the Most High. It's easy to be at a state of bliss when everything's perfect. But can you be at a state of bliss when everything is not perfect? When shit's not going your way? And this is why we're going to have the discussion. So what we're going to do, I'm a talk about Daniel, and this character is in the book of Daniel. All right. So if you want to look it up, it's in the book of Daniel in the Bible. All right. So I'm going to talk about Daniel on some sketchy outline stuff. I'm not going to go deep into the story with every detail, word for word, line for line, because we'll be over here all night long. Okay. We'll be up here all night long. But I'm going to talk about it is sequenced the best way I can, because it's been a minute since I kind of touched on Daniel and everything. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna go over the story. I'm gonna start breaking down some of the symbolism as much as possible, and then we're just gonna have some fun and do what we do. All right, so let's get into it. Okay, so again, hit the like button, share and subscribe. Hit the like button, share and subscribe. Okay, so Daniel is a biblical figure, well-known biblical figure, right? So Daniel was like a member of the tribe of Judah. And there was a point where, I forgot. I almost forgot. I got to give my other disclosure. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, y'all. I got to do this. Full disclosure, I am not a preacher or a pastor, nor am I somebody that wants to be a preacher or a pastor. I do not. I like being raw, uncut. I like being me. I like speaking freely. I'm really not with the political correctness. Okay. So that's what it is on that. All right. So with that being said, and this slap ain't a slap of disrespect. I'm sorry, y'all. This ain't a smack of disrespect. This is we're gonna wake you up a little bit out your sleep, because your pineal gland might be a little calcified and you might be asleep. So you need somebody to come, male or female, big brother, big sister, little brother, little sister. You need somebody to come and kind of wake you up, and that's what we're here to do. All right, we got that out the way. Thank you. My bad. All right, so Daniel is a biblical figure. So if I'm not mistaken, Daniel is like from the tribe of Judah, right? And so hold on, it's coming. Let me get the downloads, right? So Daniel, Judah was they had failed, and they became occupied by a foreign nation. So when that happened, Daniel and a lot of other, young men, and just the whole state, the tribe of Judah, they came up under a Babylonian rulership, and at the time, that king name was Nebuchadnezzar. All right, so King Nebuchadnezzar came through. They conquered Judah. Boom, and because of Daniel's, I guess, his royal status, because he was of nobility, so he was basically he was a noble. He was of nobility. He was of royal blood, and so he was allowed to spend time in the king's castle, and he was allowed to eat the king's food. Right? Summertime, y'all drink your water, man. For real, stay hydrated. Especially if you want those divine messages to come in at night, y'all need to drink your water so you can stay hydrated. I'm telling you, water, and no joke. But anyway, I gave it to you. Anyway, so Daniel was taken into captivity along with a lot of other men, women, and children. Boom. They were allowed to, because of who Daniel was, a certain sector of them was allowed to eat in the king's palace and eat the king's food and just that and other. So they were taught a lot of the ways of the Babylonians. Okay. So during that time, they were, it was like they could eat the food as long as they worship the gods of the Babylonians for the most part. Like they could eat, but as long as they worship the gods of the Babylonians, they were allowed to eat. Okay. So they would eat, but the only one who wasn't eating was Daniel. Daniel felt like, well, you know, I'm going to worship the Most High and I'm going to do it like that. You're not going to just force me to eat and then you're not going to force me. It's like, okay, you can eat, but if you want to eat, you know, you got to worship our gods and our deities and then you can eat. For the most part, everybody else was doing that except for Daniel, because Daniel was extremely faithful and loyal to the Most High God, right? So Daniel told one of the like I said, I'm gonna do this in outlines of the story. I'm not word for word, line for line. I'm not doing all that. So Daniel was like, look, he made like this proposal to one of the kings. The king has his court, so he made a proposal to one of the officials in King Nebuchadnezzar's court. He said, listen, let's do a 10-day test, right? For 10 days, I'm gonna eat fruits. I'm gonna eat vegetables and drink water. And so are a couple of my guys that's down with me. And y'all do what y'all do. And after 10 days, we're gonna see where we at, right? All right. So for 10 days, all Daniel and it was 3 other dudes, Meshach, Meshach, something Shack, and oh my God, it was 3 of them. I don't want to say something a goat, something. I forgot the name. I swear. That's why I like being raw. Anyway, but it was 3 of them with Daniel. And for 10 days, all they ate was fruits and vegetables. Okay. And you can look this up. It's in the Bible in the book of Daniel. And so for 10 days, all they ate was vegetables and water. Vegetables and water. Everybody else kept eating what they was eating. So when the 10-day period came, you know, they took Daniel, his friends, into the front of the king Nebuchadnezzar, and they did a comparison between Daniel and his friends versus everybody else that kept eating the king's food, right? And what they found was that Daniel and his friends looked healthier and was more in shape and more fit than everybody else who was eating the king's food. Now, with the king's food, they was eating meat, they was drinking wine. I mean, they was living it up. So they was doing what they wanted to do. But Daniel and his friends, they was strictly on a strict diet. They was eating vegetables, all the vegetables, and they was drinking water. Okay. So when that time came, they looked at just more healthier. They looked more vibrant. I mean, they sized them up in every category, not just physically, but even intellectually too. And Daniel and his friends came out on top. Meanwhile, during that process, let's just call it a detox, right? No meat, all type of shit. Wouldn't that be a detox, right? You see what I'm saying? Sometimes when you read the Bible, you got to kind of take yourself outside of the way things normally be taught and preached or pastored to you. No disrespect to people that do that, but I'm just saying, like, you got to use your own comment because we're talking about other human beings. So what would the conversation be? What would the setting be? You know what I mean? Like, you just gotta do that. Like, you can't just be a robot and just be sitting there like, oh, okay, no, no, no. So this was clearly, it was a detox. So they flushed, they clean, they whole system been fruits and vegetables for 10 days. So during that time, Daniel and his group, the three, which made four, they received spiritual gifts and enhancements from the Most High God during that time. And you got to think, of course you would, because naturally, if you're not eating meat and weighed down and your digestive system is digesting fruits and vegetables, you know, you can really receive some stuff. So they opened their channels up and they was able to receive all type of messages and downloads. Okay, y'all need to talk to people who are like vegetarians or pescatarians and they don't really eat red meat or no meat at all. I'm telling you, you'll lose a lot of weight just overnight. Just boom, cut the red meat out and just a lot of type of meat, all type of meat. And don't just assume you got to eat meat to be big and strong. Because look at gorillas. Do gorillas eat meat? No. You see how big and strong they is, right? The muscles are stacked like right. So they got spiritual gifts and enhancements. So they got the gifts of like intuition, interpreting dreams, like all type of stuff. They was gifted this from the Most High. Boom. Okay. So when all of this stuff went down, the King Nebuchadnezzar was like, oh, okay, damn, y'all pretty sharp. Y'all pretty good. Like, damn, like y'all on point. Okay, well, I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm gonna promote y'all, and you know, I'm gonna give y'all this, that, and the other. You know, you pass your little 10-day evaluation. Okay, you looking good. And in actuality, you looking better than everybody else out here, right? So, okay, we're gonna give y'all some promotions, we're gonna give you some gifts, and we're gonna do it like that. So that's what they received. Okay, cool. Boom. So then King Nebuchadnezzar started having like these dreams and these visions. And again, remember Daniel and his crew, they got these gifts, like this spiritual abilities and stuff, right? So the King Nebuchadnezzar started having these visions. And it was like there was a vision of a statue with a gold head, and the rest of the body was like iron, and the feet was stone and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, he wanted somebody to come and interpret these dreams. But when he started talking to people about interpreting these dreams, you know, it was like, damn, we couldn't have nobody. We didn't have nobody. So he hitting up all of the magicians, all of the sorcerers, everybody that he can reach out to, like, hey, yo, what's up? What's going on with these dreams? Tell me this, tell me that. And you know, everybody was like, man, like chief magicians and sorcerers were like, oh man, we don't know what's going on, King Nebuchadnezzar. We don't know what's going on with these dreams. We can't really tell you. So the king got a hot, like, hey, you know, he was a hot tempered mofo anyway. So he like, hey man, wait a minute, man, hold on, man. Y'all mofos better tell me something about these dreams, or I swear to God, I'm gonna start putting you motherfuckers in the fiery furnace. Stop playing with me. I need to know what these dreams is about. Stop fucking playing. Let's go. What are these dreams about? So they like, I don't know. We don't know. So he like, okay, you know what? Y'all think it's a rap? You think it's a game? All right, get your ass in there. I'm not fucking around, right? So, and I hope I'm getting this part right. I believe I believe they finally came down to they approached Daniel and his group, and they told them the same thing, like, hey man, you know, like on Friday, Pop's tripping. You know, I wouldn't even trip. You know what I'm saying? It was like, hey, yo, Nebuchadnezzar's tripping. You know, I wouldn't even trip, but he wants y'all to interpret these dreams, man. If you know you don't interpret these dreams, man, you know, he talking about tossing y'all in the fiery furnace. So Daniel and them like, damn, for real? Like, damn, like what do we do? We just chilling. We ain't even do nothing. They're like, look, man, you know, the king is tripping, man. Get the dream straight, get the shit right, and or else I'm gonna toss you in the fiery furnace. You know what I'm saying? So Um, so they like at some point Daniel he wants to have a meeting with the king. Basically, he asked for to talk to the king, basically. And so then Daniel said to the king, "Look, give me a minute and let me um give me some time, and I believe I can break down this vision for you." So King Nebuchadnezzar was like, "Cool, okay, no problem. Boom, all right, I got you. We're gonna see what's up. All right, go ahead. So take your little time that you need, but just know, nigga, ninja, you messed up. That fiery furnace. I'm tossing you in that thing, bro. You know what I'm saying? He like, no trip. I got you. Just give me a minute. Let me see what's up. You know what I'm saying? I just need to figure this shit out. You can't just give me the you want me to just interpret something. Boom. So Daniel came back, boom, and he started breaking it down word for word. So the king was like, what? He knew Daniel was telling the truth because it was some stuff, I guess, clearly that he didn't even tell Daniel, that Daniel said that in about the dream, and the king was like, ooh. So then the king started bowing down and like, hey, you know what, Daniel, man, you and your God, man, y'all legit, man. You straight up. So, let me go ahead and reward you. Boom. Like this. I'm gonna do y'all like that, right? Cool. Boom. So fast forward, some years had passed. The king had another vision. And so again, what happened during this time was the king got a little big head because when Daniel broke down the vision to him, he told him about the one thing that Daniel mentioned to the king was that the top part of this statue was gold. That was a representation of the king himself. You know what I'm saying? So this mofo, the king, he decides, oh yeah, he fell into his own situation. So he decides that I'm gonna have a statue built, vanity shit. I'm gonna have a statue built, and I'm gonna have this statue built, and it was about a gang of vanity. Now, again, remind you, I ain't a preacher, I ain't a pastor. I'm saying I'm giving y'all some outlines. I'm talking about Daniel and the lion's den from the book of Daniel. You go look all this stuff up yourself if you want the precise. I might be missing a couple of sequences, or I might even reverse some stuff, but at the end of the day, you're gonna get the damn message. All right, don't fucking play with me. All right. so once the king did that, it was like, oh, okay, you falling into some more vanity and stuff, right? So then he had another vision. He started having some more dreams. So again, they like, hey, what's up? I need somebody to interpret this. Boom. So he hit up Daniel and his partners, right? But mainly, I think it was just his partners on this particular time. And the fiery furnace thing came up again. And so when they came to approach the king, they came with respect, but then they let the king know too, like, look, man, if you're gonna do away with us, you're gonna do what you're gonna do, but we represent the Most High, basically. You know what I'm saying? This is basically, when you read it, this is basically what they saying. Like, man, you're gonna do what you're gonna do. We represent the Most High. We're gonna try to interpret this for you, but if we get tossed in this furnace, man, that's just what it is. And then we'll just let the Most High look out for us, basically, after all of the dialogue. So at some point it came to it, like, I guess they couldn't interpret the dream, or it was something that made the king like, all right, well, you know what? Get up in that fiery furnace then. So they're like, we going to the fiery furnace. So Daniel's friends, they get tossed up in the fiery furnace. Boom. Now, but right before that, the king was so mad because they was kind of telling him like, your vanity is a problem. Like, your vanity and everything is getting to your head. Like, you becoming your own problem. And this is what they telling the king. So he got real mad. So right before they got tossed into the furnace, the king actually elevated the heat of the furnace another like 700 degrees. Like, damn. So it was so hot that when they opened it to get ready to toss them in, like some of the flames came out and actually killed some of the guards. Like, that's how hot it was. What we got over here? I'm in this thing, bro. What it do, fam? All right. So they get tossed in, and the king, you know, he kind of felt a little apprehensive about it, but he was still like, I gotta do what I gotta do. I'm the king. Boom. So they get tossed in, and when they get tossed in the fire, make a long story short, you know, they up in there kind of looking around, and they looking like, well, damn, wait a minute, hold up. They look through the shit, they look through the thing, and they see them mofos up in there still chilling. They like, whoa. I know the fuck you lying. Hell no, I know you lying. What is them dudes still doing up in this fiery furnace still standing? Boom. So then they said it was actually 4 people in there, but they put 3 in there, but it was 4. So they looking like, whoa. So they looking at one of the, it's in the Bible, it says that the 4th person was actually like a child, like a messenger, like the son of God or something. But they put 3 in there, but they saw 4 figures, which is interesting. So you just got to do your own homework on that. I can't give everything to y'all. You know what I'm saying? You got to leave some of this shit open to do your own homework, right? So they like, damn, boom. So they pull them out. They like, what the fees nut? Like, what the hell? Like, how y'all survive that? So at that point, the king like, oh yeah, man, y'all servants and y'all people are the most high. You know, he ignorant, just not completely ignorant, but ignorant, but not so ignorant to where he can't acknowledge, like, man, nah, ain't nobody surviving no fiery furnace. Fuck all that. Y'all mofos, yeah, man. Y'all got something connected to the divine. Okay, so boom. They get out, they talk about it. Fast forward, decades pass. They got an elevation after that. Of course, you see that type of miracle, you're gonna get some promotion. So boom, Daniel and his clique, they get some elevations, right? So then I guess King Nebuchadnezzar started, he kind of had like a mental breakdown because he kind of started falling into so much of his vanity and stuff that he himself, you know, he had to go through what they call a dark night of the soul. So some of y'all might need to look that up and understand what a dark night of the soul is. So he had to go through a dark night of the soul. But when he came out, he kind of acknowledged, like, you know what? Boom. The Most High God, I acknowledge you, because that's what it really was about. So once he finally did that, because he like lost his mind, all type of shit. But once he stopped fucking around with his ego and pride and stupidity, it was like, oh, okay, cool. Woo! Most High God, I see you. I'm with you. I'm sorry. I'm here with you. Boom. So then he kind of received, he was restored. His vitals was restored. So he started looking like he had his sense about himself again. Boom. So he reigned, time passed, boom. And so then he ended up, his son or grandson, it was a son or a grandson came. And he took over the throne, right? After so long, naturally, right? Is what they call it succession. So he took over the throne. So then once he took over the throne, what this fool did was, hold on, it's coming to me. What he did was, instead of sticking strictly to what all the lessons that King Nebuchadnezzar learned, he felt like, okay, I'm in this house temple dedicated to the Most High, but I'm going to go get these cups, the silver and this gold cup that's kind of dedicated to these other gods that we used to worship and stuff. So I'm going to get these cups, pour a little liquor up in here, you know what I'm saying? Pour out a little liquor, and they poured them in them cups, and they started drinking. Now, mind you, of course, that's like blasphemy to the Most High. So while they were doing that, they got like this, this divine intervention happened because they in the Most High's temple celebrating, but then you pull out these two damn items that are linked to other deities outside of the Most High, and that was offensive to the Most High. So everybody starts seeing this hand start writing on the wall in a language that they couldn't like understand, like they couldn't like really understand the writings and stuff. Okay, so so then naturally he want to know what that is and what's going on. So he start asking people, hey man, what's that? Didn't know. Again, the sorcerers, the magicians, all these people that they had, they couldn't interpret what that language was. Now mind you, keep something else in mind. From the beginning of when I've been talking in the beginning of the story, Daniel and his friends, they youngsters. They not no elders. That was part of another problem that we're going to get to in a minute. They young. They're not no elders. These are some youngsters, okay? And you know how, unfortunately, you know how some of our elders, we hate to say it, but they some haters, bro. Like if they felt like if they didn't get it, the next generation can't have it because this generation didn't get it. But anyway, we'll get into all of that. But anyway, so he was like the Nebuchadnezzar's son or grandson, I forgot which one it was. They like, damn, we trying to interpret this thing, what's going on? So naturally, when these people trying to, get some information and they can't get no info, they like, man, we're gonna start effing some of y'all up, man. We're gonna start tossing some of y'all on the lion's den. We're gonna start doing shit to y'all, man. Like, what's the deal? What does this say? What does this mean? Y'all are sorcerers, y'all are magicians. We done got the best across the land. You mean to tell me with all this shit y'all got, you can't tell me what this mean? What this mean? They like, I don't know. They like, all right, man, I'm tossing motherfuckers in the goddamn lion's den for not being able to tell me what this business is, right? So then it's like he had a vision too. So he like, damn, now I got a vision. I need y'all to tell me what's the deal with this language and what's this vision. So who they go get? They go get Daniel. Daniel come, they're like, yo, D, what's up, man? Talk to me, man. What's going on with these visions? What's up with this writing on the wall, bro? Because we was in a temple doing some shit, and everybody witnessed this whole little spiritual phenomenon happening. We need to know what's going on. So Daniel is like, okay, well, basically, this vision means this. Like you ain't gonna really be here too much longer, man. They got some other kings finna come in here, some emperors, some other empires, and they finna off with your head. They finna take care of you, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what it is. Now, as far as the writing, and he was very apprehensive. Daniel was very apprehensive. He like, look, man, and the king and the dude was telling him like, hey, man, look, just tell me what it is, man. Don't be afraid, man. I gotta know whatever it is. Just tell me. So he's like, all right, I'm just gonna tell you. You know what I'm saying? Just don't. You know what I mean? Like, damn. So, hold on. So he started telling him what the writing was. Like, it means this, it means that, it means this. Basically talking about his reign and his demise, blah, blah, blah. So, like after he got through talking to him, like the next day, like literally all that shit came true. Like it was another, like, was it the Persians? It was another empire came right in. They killed the king, got him out of there, like, done, you're done. He was done. All right. He thinking he's finna live another day. It was like, no, you're not. No, you're not. So he was done. And it was like, wow. So then I think it was the Persians or fuck. Oh my God. I think it did have something to do with the Persians. I promise you though. And so hit the like button, share and subscribe, man. Just be real. So when they came in, they kind of already knew about Daniel and his peoples. And so, like, the Persian king came in, they respected Daniel and his people, but he had a vision too. So again, he like, hey, I need some clarity on these visions. And so he went to Daniel. He was like, look, man, he same thing. So, oh, no. I take that back. I take that back. I'm sorry. Here it go. Here it go. So the haters of Daniel, the people that was in the king's court, there was a lot of people who hated on Daniel and his friends, mainly Daniel. And so they was always trying to set Daniel up, trying to look for any and every little thing to bring up to the court, to bring it to the king. Like, look, see, you shouldn't have him here. See, anything. But they could never find nothing. So they studying Daniel, and they like, oh, you know what? All right. This mofo right here, he's loyal and faithful to the Most High God. All right. So these conspirators went to the king and was like, hey, yo, check this out. Now they got rank and pull too. So they like, hey, yo, king, check this out, homie. We feel like you should make a decree for 30 days because you're so great. You're so magnificent. I mean, they just played into the king's vanity. They played into his vanity. It was like, you're so great. You're so magnificent that we feel like for 30 days, should nobody get no praises but you. So the king like, oh shit, you telling me I shouldn't get no praises? Like, shit, should nobody else get no praises but me? Like, for real? They're like, yeah, man, you should get all the praises. So the king like, well, shit, okay, well, I mean, shit, I like that idea. I think I should get all the praises. After all, God damn it, I am the king. So they're like, yeah, make a decree. Now, the law is once a decree is made, you got to roll with it. You can't take it back. You got to roll with that shit, right? So the king stamped it, made a decree. So they like, oh, yeah, we finna get this motherfucker Daniel. His ass is out of here. This motherfucker want to keep praises and be loyal and be faithful to the Most High. We finna get this motherfucker, right? So they made the decree. They make it public like, yeah, you can't worship nobody, nothing else outside of the king. All praises is due to the king for the next 30 days. Daniel sitting back like, who you talking to? They're like, yeah, everybody. You too, Daniel. Daniel like, shit. I'm going to praise the Most High God, homie. What you talking about? They're like, okay, well, you praise the Most High God if you want to. Watch what's going to happen. Daniel like, all right. Shit. I'm going to stick to what I'm going to stand on my square. And I'm going to keep praising the Most High. I'm going to do what I do. I'm not going to lose faith, lose connection for you mofos, right? So Daniel, so they start watching Daniel because they know Daniel. They're like, yeah, we know you faithful. We know you going to praise God. We know. We just want to catch you doing it. So they came to Daniel's crib one day, like walked up in there. Daniel like, yep, I'm in here praying. They're like, oh, got the info. They're like, hey, yo, see, King, this mofo right here, we got him. He busted. He praising the Most High. You made a decree. Didn't you make this decree? The king like, yeah. Fuck. I did make this decree. The king a little, he like, damn. He like, I like Daniel though, man. That's my ninja though. He like, wait a minute, man. But they like, hey, look, you can't go against the rules and the decrees. Basically, like it's like you can't go against the bylaws of rulership. Like if you the king, you got once you make a decree, that's what it is. It don't matter who it is. So he like, shit. So he like, fuck, man. Go get Daniel, man. We got to punish him. They're like, yes, We finna get this motherfucker Daniel. This motherfucker so faithful. This motherfucker so loyal to the goddamn Most High. Fuck this motherfucker, man. Fuck Daniel. Tired of this shit. Acting like he's so much better than everybody. Man, meanwhile, Daniel ain't acting like nothing. Daniel's like, no, I really just love God, bro. I just the integrity that I got that y'all lack. That's just who I am. I'm not trying to put on a front for nobody. That's why when y'all came to me, you came to my living quarters. I didn't hide shit. I kept doing my praises. I kept doing what I was doing. I didn't stop doing nothing. Again, Dan was like, I didn't stop doing nothing. It's like, yeah, we got you. That's what we wanted. Yeah. So, boom, you getting tossed to the lions then because that's the penalty of death. Nah. So Daniel like, all right. Boom. So they grab Daniel up. Take Daniel to the lions den. How many of y'all been into the lions den? Huh? With the lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. So they take Daniel to the lions den. They throw him in there. Right before they get to throw him in there real quick, the king himself came down, was like, the king himself was like, he not really happy about it. He like, damn, man. I like Daniel, though. I didn't want this to be Daniel. Out of all the people, he like, So he like, all right, but they like reminding like, you better stick to you the king. You gonna seem weak. And he like, okay. But he told Daniel like, man, may the God that you serve protect you and guide you through this time. Boom. So they throw him up in there, put a rock in the lion's den. You know what I'm saying? He up in the lion's den. You use your imagination. You know what I'm saying? Lions coming up on him like, it's beasts, monsters. They up on his ass. You know what I'm saying? Sniffing him out, just like how your dog, like how a dog sniffing him. Just imagine an animal 5 times that size with muscles and traps and shit just coming up like, nigga, one claw, you're gone. And it's a whole it's a whole den of them. Like, yeah. And they just sniffing him and checking him out. So the king like, look, man, king could down there crying. He go up to the king's palace, he crying. He like he gonna cry when he get in the car. King gonna cry when he get in the car. All right, so king cry. He going upstairs. He couldn't wait. Next morning, he came down running. Coming down just to check. Like, move the stone. He tell everybody, God damn it, move the damn stone. Let me see if he in there. He like, Daniel, you in there? He like, oh God, please tell me Daniel was up in there. I'm sorry, man. This is crazy. Daniel like, what's up? I'm good. He like, what? Is that you, Daniel? He like, yeah, man, I'm up there. He like, guards, get this rock from right here, right now. Move this. Move. He look, it's Daniel. He like, Daniel, my boy. He like, oh my God. Oh man, I was so worried. Oh my God, I was so scared. I thought you was going. I just knew you was going. I just knew I wasn't going to see you no more, Daniel. Oh my God, Daniel. Oh my God. Daniel like, nah, I'm good. I was up in here just chilling, man. You know what I'm saying? The angel came down and held the mouth for the lions, and yeah, I was just in here chilling all night. As a matter of fact, I got a little cold up in here. They let me, they kind of slept around me so I could stay warm and shit. It ain't like it's hot in this temple up in this cave. It was a little cold, so they kind of warmed me up. But yeah, I'm good. What's up? We out. He's like, oh, okay, bull. So when he got Daniel out, at the time, the king didn't realize that he was set up. Like, oh, y'all conspirators, y'all lied, y'all set this up. So the king like, all right, for sure. I want you, and you. Y'all get your asses in the lions den. They're like, your majesty, why must thou get into the lions den? He's like, I don't want to hear that shit. Shut your ass up. This man survived the lions den because of the Most High God. And if the Most High God ride with you, you're going to survive too. But something tells me he ain't, because y'all some vipers and some serpents. So get y'all asses up in there. And the king was ruthless. So the king like, not only y'all, but you know what? You, all y'all whole lineage. I want all y'all family up in there too. I want your whole family up in there too. Not just y'all. I want your mama. I want your wife. I want your kids. I want your whole family up in this lion's den since y'all wanted to play. Okay? You talk about a turnaround of events like, oh shit, oh, damn. Right? Fast forward. Daniel get accolades, celebrated, acknowledged, all type of stuff. Boom. Fast forward. The king, again, big-headed, start falling into more vanity. Again, other conspirators in the king's court, haters hating on Daniel, because every time Daniel faced something, every time Daniel went through something, he was elevated. He was awarded. He was given things by the Most High. He was given things by the king, and as above, so below. You know what I'm saying? So every time God gave him something, he had the physical resemblance of that too. You know what I'm saying? It was like, again, as above, so below. So every time God broke him off, he got some rewards in the physical. So, you know, Daniel got a lot of haters. So again, some more stuff came up. And again, I don't know if it was that same king or the next king. You got to read the story yourself. But I don't know if it was that same king or the next king. Start having some visions and stuff and needed some assistance. And then again, the same type of people. It wasn't the same people, because clearly they got ate up. Because some people that they put in that lion's den the first time, no, they didn't make it. All them motherfuckers got ate the fuck up. Their whole family, their whole bloodline got removed. Their whole bloodline was removed for playing. Okay? Because sometimes when you play with the wrong people, it don't just be you. You bring on shit for your whole entire lineage because you're playing with the wrong damn person. Touch not my anointing, do my prophets no harm. Ain't that what it say? Okay, stop playing. Hit the like button, share, and subscribe. So then, again, the conspirators is out of control. So they hating on Daniel because Daniel, you know what I mean? Daniel got visions. And then another thing too, that's clearly stated in the Bible in the beginning when Daniel was young and when he first got took captives. Like when Daniel and his crew was allowed to eat in the temple and be a part of the palace with the kings, even though they were captives, but they were still treated with a sense of royalty because they came from royal blood. They were of noble royal blood. That's what they were. And it was also stated that they were handsome men. So now you gotta think. You a handsome motherfucker. You divinely protected. You divinely gifted. You know what I'm saying? You got so much going for yourself and you abundant spiritually and in the physical. So you going to have a gang of haters. So again, some stuff came up with the kings. They tried to, same thing, every time they played into the king's vanity. They said the same thing again. That's why I can't remember if it was the same king or a new king, but the same type of theme came up where those haters was like, look, and again, these haters were high ranking too, but they did a little lying and manipulating and said, hey, king, we've talked to everybody in the council and everybody feels like, should no other God be worshiped other than the God that we worship? And it's amazing how all these kings never would just strictly worship the Most High. They would acknowledge the Most High God that Daniel rode with, but they never just made a decree like, bro, that's the God we worship. For some reason, they still want to do silly shit. But anyway, so the king was like, okay, so what y'all want to do? And they was like, look, for 30 days, should no other guys get no worship but the guys that we serve, right? So he like, all right, cool. He made that decree again. Boom, stamped it, decree. Now he can't pull back. Boom. So they made the decree, and they kept doing that because they kept trying to look for chinks and weaknesses in Daniel's in his armor, so they could find him guilty on something and just get his ass arrested so the king could do away with this fool. But all the digging, all the searching, they couldn't find nothing. Like, the boy was legit and they knew it. So they like, well, damn, we gotta try to use his strengths against him. Like, boom, he loved the Most High God. Okay, well, you can't worship God for 30 days. Boom. Again, Daniel like, oh yeah, all right. So at one point, when Daniel heard about the decree, Daniel like, oh yeah, I can't. So where Daniel's living quarter was, his man, you gotta, again, Daniel was a boss now. He's handsome, brother's intuitive, he's gifted, brother got all type of shit popping, right? He's abundant, right? So then, like, his room, like, he had a view of the city. Like, so therefore everybody could kind of see him and he could see down. You know what I mean? So Daniel made sure, like, oh yeah, don't nobody want to worship God. All right, cool. Watch this. Boom. So Daniel was in the window praying, doing his prayers 3 times a day. That was the ritual that they were doing, that he was doing during that time. So he was doing his thing. And he stood in the window and let everybody see him praising the Most High. And they knew he was going to do something. They just wanted to catch him doing it. So when they set that up, they're like, oh, he praising the Most High. He being loyal and faithful again. Yep, got him. Boom. Went to the king like, hey, yo, same situation. They're like, yeah, didn't you say this? King like, yeah, I did say it. They're like, well, look at what we got here. Pull out a scroll like, yeah, you see this? Your boy Daniel, you see this evidence? Yeah, man, this motherfucker, he's going against your decree. You know what happens when you go against the decree? You know what I'm saying? He got to get tossed in the lion's den. So, again, the king is like, oh, my God. Like, I don't want to do this, man. I like Daniel, man. Not only do I like Daniel, I admire this mofo, but I got to do what I got to do because that's like the bylaws of the kingship. Damn. So, again, they snatch your boy Daniel up. They go toss Daniel in the lion's den again. The lions don't do shit to Daniel. The king is like suffering, like, damn, man. They kept using the king's vanity and his lack of doing shadow work against him. Okay. Keynote, his lack of doing shadow work against him. And so he kept falling for the same traps. And so when Daniel, he again ran down to the thing, like, and the next day, like, let me see what's happening. Hey, open up that thing, man. See what's going on with Daniel, man. Woo. Daniel, you in there? You good? What's up? What the fuck? Daniel, same shit. Daniel like, yep. What it do? What it do? They're like, what? Again? Like, yeah, Daniel, like, yeah, man. So the king like, all right, come on, man. Come on up out of here. Let's reward you. Let's do all this shit again. Same shit. King like, you know what? All y'all conspirators, that was y'all, right? That was y'all, right? They're like, no, well, we just caught him violating your decree, my lord. My lord, it's your decree. They're like, that. I know, but y'all keep setting this up like this. So you know what? You get your ass in the lion's den. So all of them had to get in the lion's den again. All of them, a new set, a new batch. All of them had to get into the lion's den. And guess what? None of them wasn't Daniel. None of them wasn't Daniel. So when they got up in that lion's den, and them lions got the sniffing and searching for what impurities and whatever it is that they looking for, they said, oh yeah, and got the ripping their asses to shreds. Now there's a little bit more to the story, but I'm gonna just end that with the story, and then I'm gonna kind of go into some of the symbolism. But right before I do that, I want to say this. There's a G.I. Joe movie. It's called Snake Eyes. It's called Snake Eyes. And in that movie, it's kind of a precursor. If you're a G.I. Joe fan, then you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a precursor to before Snake Eyes became Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes is a shinobi. Snake Eyes is a ninja. And he kind of started off on a bad path and then got with a group of ninjas. He kind of was infiltrating them at first. And long story short, he ended up being pure-hearted and was like, damn, because they were kind of manipulating him. That was the reason why he was going against them ninjas while they were training him. So they were training him while he was actually spying on them in actually doing espionage against them, right? But so that story is a story of one of the main G.I. Joe characters. You got to be an 80s baby for sure to know anything about G.I. Joe. 80s babies, early 90s. If you other than that, I don't think they do know G.I. Joe stuff. So if you G.I. Joe fan, you know what I'm talking about. So this movie was about Snake Eyes before he became a G.I. Joe officially. But the point that I'm making is there were two scenes in the movies. There was these big old massive anacondas. And once like the son of he was like the next heir to the clan. He liked Snake Eyes because Snake Eyes had saved him like in prison or something like that. Like it was something that Snake Eyes did that made him feel like I'm gonna bring you to my clan and make you one of my family. You're gonna be my blood brother. But Snake Eyes was really on some bullshit at the time. And so when he did that, there's like 3 different stages that you got to go through to actually be a part of a ninja / shinobi clan. So Snake Eyes passed the first 2, and then the last one they had to put you in a pit with these 2 big old massive giant titan anaconda snakes. One was black, one was white, and if they sensed any type of negative energy, any type of malice, jealousy, fear, hatred, betrayal, anything, they was gonna eat your ass up. So they tossed Snake Eyes into that pit. And so there was this girl at the time, I forgot who the fuck. Was it the girl or somebody saved Snake Eyes because the snakes was finna get him because they sensed the bullshit in him. They sensed that bullshit in him, like, oh, you up to no good. So they was finna get him, but then somebody saved him. Long story short, when they saved him, they got in trouble for saving him because they wasn't supposed to do that, but they had so much care for him that they was like, damn, like this is crazy. We can't, but anyway, the point that I'm making is there was another time that he ended up getting in a pit because he was having he kind of healed himself and he was having a fight with one of the dudes who sent him down that dark path to betray this group of ninjas. And what he did was, as they was fighting, he kind of set up a situation for both of them to fall in the pit. So both of them ended up falling in the pit, and Snake Eyes released the serpents. And so when the serpents kind of came to slithering out, just like the lions, they moved up on some shit and they snatched the other boy up, and then they moved up on Snake Eyes and they backed up off of him, but they not playing, you know what I mean? Like they sensed him, they felt his energy, they felt his spirit. They're like, oh, okay, you cool. And so then that's when he was allowed to become a part of their clan. So with all that being said, I just wanted to share that part because it kind of reminded me of Daniel in the Lion's Den. But long story short, as you go through the story of Daniel in the Lion's Den, like the whole story, Daniel never lost faith about first of all, he never lost faith in who he was and what he was about. Period, point blank. It didn't matter what the fuck was going on. When he first became a captive by King Nebuchadnezzar, he never lost faith in his loyalty to himself. his self-relationship to him and the Most High. He never lost that connection. He wouldn't let nobody take that from him. And as you go through the story, that's what you're going to see. When his friends was put into the fiery furnace, that's why they were saved. That's why they were saved, because they never lost sight of who they were and what they was about. Because I'm going to tell y'all something, chosen ones. I'm going to tell y'all something, loved ones. People are going person, places, or things are going to always try to test you. They're going to push the limits and threaten you with death and destruction. Kind of like that pandemic, right? Remember all that shit, forcing people, and everybody's like, okay, I'll do it. Look, don't get offended if you got it. Don't get offended if you got the needle and the jab. I'm just saying, it was some of us that was just like, nah, I don't give a fuck what you're talking about. I'm not doing that shit. So if you're offended right now, get your ass out of here. You might as well go on right now. Because when you got tossed in that lion's den, that fiery furnace, you didn't come out. You didn't come out. Okay? When the evil people in the king's court kept preying on the vanity of the king, you got to understand, like, imagine the look. Yeah, get out. You know, I can see certain shit and it shit be funny. Adios, amigo. Bye. Get your ass out of here, right? So you got to think, like, when the king kept having those people feed into his vanity, and he went against the Most High, and he went against Daniel and shit, they fed into his vanity. They fed into the things that they knew about the king, his weaknesses, to make him feel puffed up to go against what was real. So in other words, one thing you got to do is be mindful of the people that you have around you in your circles, because some people might just be trying to feed into your vanity. They know your insecurities. They know you selfish. They might have a hidden agenda. They know damn well you're like this and you're like that. They know they can feed into that. You might have a friend telling you to do something that you know may not be right, but that friend is going to feed that ego side of you. That's going, you know what? Yeah, you're right. I should do this. I should act like this. That motherfucker got a hidden agenda. That ain't your real friend. That ain't your real loved one. That ain't your real relative. You got to have people around you that's with the business. Come here. I will slap the sense in you. Anybody that you got in your life, if you don't got nobody in your life that can't tell you some real shit, they not really for you. See, some people are not used to having people in their life that's going to tell them the truth about themselves. And so everybody that they got in their life is going to feed into that bullshit side about them, and that's going to foster that bullshit and puff them up off that pride and that ego and make them feel like, yeah, you right. Nah, hell no. You need a real mofo in your life, whether it's a friend, a family member, a co-worker, somebody that's going to be like, I don't know about that one. I don't know if you should have did that. A real friend that really care about you will tell you, you know what? You shouldn't do that to him. You shouldn't do that to her. That's not right. You not right either. Like, you telling one side of it, but as I'm listening to you not 100% accurate about your shit. That was wrong. And if you don't have nobody in your life that will check you, that will put you in your place, you just like that king. You in that position like that king. You in that position like that king. You got people around you in your court, but ain't nobody really want to see you win. They want to keep being able to manipulate you the way they want to so they can get whatever it is out of you. Okay? You need a motherfucker that's like Daniel, loyal to the soil, loyal to not just you, more than you, loyal to what's right, loyal to the Most High, loyal to nature, loyal to science, loyal to common sense. That can tell you like, nah, That's not cool. No. When you look at the three friends of Daniel that was tossed into the fiery furnace. Remember, it's three of them, but then when they looked in, they seen four. So they're like, damn, how's it four figures in here, but it's three of them, but it's four figures? Because you know why? Because no matter what you're going through, no matter who you are, no matter what the situation is, facing death, facing losing your job, facing goddamn losing your property, facing no matter what it is, the Most High God is going to be with you. The Most High gonna always be with you. So it didn't matter if the fuck they was put into that fiery furnace. It didn't matter because the Most High was like, I'm not finna let them get burnt up by this fire. And as a matter of fact, put them in there. Watch what's gonna happen. Put them in there. I got a plan for y'all. Now that y'all put them in there, when I pull them out, all y'all gonna bow down and acknowledge them and me for what's going on. Because whatever happens to you happens for you if you're in alignment. If you're in alignment. If you're in alignment. But you gotta be in alignment. God gonna always be there. God is never not there. The Most High is always there. The Most High is never not there. Your ancestors always there. They never not there. The divine spirits are always there. They're never not there. Anytime there seems like a disconnect, that's because of you. It has nothing to do with them. I don't care what you subscribe to. Some people say, well, I don't believe in my ancestors. I don't care about it. Motherfucker, I don't care what you talking about either. There's people out here that everybody don't subscribe to the same thing, but if you understand everything it is the same thing. Care what you talking about. You ain't gonna tell me. So I don't care if you subscribe to the Most High, subscribe to your ancestors, subscribe to the divine spirits. They're going to always be there for you no matter what you going through. You have to see them. They see you, but do you see them? So that's what that fourth image was. That's why in the Bible it says that fourth image, they didn't know. They like, damn, is this a God, child of God, or it was an angel? They don't know which one. It don't matter. You protect it. And that's the thing. When you protect it, man, I swear to, boy, when you protect it, mofos can say what they want, do what they want, throw at you what they want. Ain't none of that shit gonna touch you. When they put Daniel's friends into that fiery furnace, not only was it a fiery furnace, but the king had elevated the heat of the fire 700 degrees. So it was 700 degrees higher. What does that mean? That means that when people see that light on you, motherfuckers is really gonna go out their way, because this already might be a negative person of destruction. This person may already be a snake, already be a viper, already be a serpent, already may be a devourer. But when they see that anointing on you, when they see that prophetic light on you, them motherfuckers gonna turn the heat up. They're gonna do more than what they've been doing normally. They're like, oh shit. Oh, we got one here. Oh, we got one. Oh, we're gonna have to really turn the fire. Hey, Satan. Oh, you evil motherfucker, let's go. Turn the heat up on this motherfucker. They think they loyal and faithful to God and shit, right? They want to stay down with they self. They want to have faith in they self, right? Nah, they don't want to be a part of our group. They want to believe. They're gonna put the whole stack of money on them. They're gonna bet on them instead of betting with us. Yeah, turn the heat up. We're gonna see. Turn their lights off. Turn their gas off. Take away their car. Put them in a car accident. Make them break their arm, break their leg. Make them lose their mom, lose their dad. Turn the heat up. Make them lose their job. Make them get put out their house. Turn the heat up. Turn that shit all the way up. Let's see if that motherfucker gonna fold. They gonna break. Them motherfuckers ain't finna lose their job, lose their car, lose a loved one, lose their health, start losing shit in their health. This motherfucker gonna that's what they want. But what happened? The motherfuckers walked up out that furnace like dun 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 dun. I ain't no joke. What? They walked up out there. Dun 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 dun. Brush that shit off like, what's up? What? Oh, you turned the heat up? Oh, that's what that was? I ain't even feel none of that, man. I didn't even know what was going on. Y'all was attacking me? What? I had no idea y'all was attacking me, man. I was too busy worshiping God. I was too busy staying loyal to myself. I was too busy dedicating my time to the Most High. I was too busy dedicating time to myself. Nah, I ain't go out to the club tonight. Nah, no nights for the next 4, 5 weeks, whatever, because I'm about me. I ain't got time. I don't want to be around none of y'all. Y'all some losers. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Anointed ones, prophets, people that's kind of in between. You ain't really, you feel something about yourself, but you ain't really tapped in. You don't know if it's true. You do damn well you know it's true. You know you can't be touched. You've seen what happens to people that when they try to touch you, when they don't want to listen to you, when they don't want to respect you, when they want to sit down and try to clown you. You've seen what happens to them. Give it some time. A week later, month later, what happens? You look back. Oh, did you hear about? Nah, what happened? Oh, man, such and such. What? Oh, you know what happens to them. You trying to tell somebody to stop acting silly, they feel like I ain't got to do nothing. If the Most High is sending a message through somebody and all you can do is sit up here and get mad at the messenger and not receive the message because of the message, you don't know who or what God is going to use to get a message to you. You better receive that message. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. And sometimes God will send a message and make you sign for it, just like the damn post office. Oh, you can't even get this message until you sign for it. You know why? Because I want to make sure that you know you got it. You ain't finna lie and say, oh, I didn't get the mail. Oh, I got something for you. Come here. I'm going to send one of my anointed ones to come holler at you and tell you about yourself. You always quick to tell everybody about them, about you. What about you? Did you get the message? I didn't. All right. Get your ass in that furnace then. You want them in the furnace? Now you in the furnace. and anointed ones. Hey, anointed ones. Prophets. Generational curse breakers. Notice how Daniel got through in the lion's den twice. Notice how every motherfucking time they didn't had so many. They showed these guys. Hold on. First of all, don't forget that before the king and them even would holler at Daniel and his crew, they already had magicians and sorcerers that they wanted to get at first. Why? Because they paying them mofos. They like, man, we paying y'all. Y'all supposed to be the magicians and the sorcerers and shit. Y'all the witches and the warlocks. Y'all better tell me something. Oh, but we can't do it. We ain't got no money. We don't know what to do. Yeah, because you're not tapped in. But I'm paying y'all for nothing. So you get into the fiery furnace and you get into the lion's den. Meanwhile, hey, yo, Daniel, you and your homies, come here, man. I got to ask y'all a question. What's this dream about? People that's tapped in could decipher the information like, oh, okay. You go to sleep. You wake up. You think about it like, damn, okay. I saw all this water. I saw all this fire. I saw this earth. I saw this. I saw that. I think it means this. I think I need to start doing this. I think I need to stop doing this. I think I may need to add this or let that go or whatever you get from it. But you got the download, you received it, and you're acting upon it. You're tapped in. There you go. Instead of acting like you ain't seen it. Sitting up there playing. Then you think because you anointed Daniel and them was protected. Daniel was protected, him and his friends. How many times were they thrown into the damn lion's den? Daniel was put into the lion's den twice, and he protected as hell. You can't get no more protected than that, and he still faced challenges. But that goes back to what I was saying earlier. It's one thing to be on some, I'm this up. Show me the lion's den. I'm not talking about some little bumps and scrapes and bruises from riding a bike, falling off, motherfucker. I'm talking about when your life was on the line, where this is a crossroads, where you could have lost your mind, you could have lost your spirituality, you could have let loose and lost control of your emotions, and would have set you down another path, but you didn't. That's how you know. It's easy to do. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. If you ain't putting in that work, no, you're not. Care what you say, what you think you're told, you're not. You've been told the same shit like that king. Everybody around you is lying to you. They pumping your ass up full of vanity, feeding into your bullshit. Now when you deal with a real one, you can't handle that shit. You can't handle that shit. You got these witches and these motherfucking warlocks thinking that because I got a title, I am the leader. I'm the CEO. I run this. I'm the big kahuna. I'm the main man or woman in charge. Man, you ain't shit. You ain't done no shadow work. You saw, as a matter of fact, it's your turn to get into the lion's den. Scared as hell. Now they in that lion's den. They in there getting their ass toe up out the frame. They can't go. They can't do this. They can't face the dark night of the soul like you, anointed one, generational curse breaker. Generational curse breaker. They can't do it like you. When it's their turn, they wished all that shit on you, but now when it's their turn, they can't take it. They can't take it. They can't take it. Then let's look at the lions. When you get up in a lion's den, you know how ferocious lions are? Let's break that shit down. You know how ferocious lions are? We talking about lions are so ferocious that even though they're not the biggest animal, first of all, let me clear something up. Lions don't be in the fucking jungle. They're on a plain. Jungle is like tigers be at, pythons and shit like that. Africa, stuff like that, that's not a jungle. Just to be clear. But let's just go with the narrative. I just want to clear that up. Lions are not the biggest in the jungle. Lions are not the fastest in the jungle. Lions are not the smartest in the jungle. Right? Lions are not the most athletic in the jungle. But yet they say lions are the king of the jungle. Well, what you mean, Noble? Why is lions not the biggest in the jungle? Well, let's look at the animal kingdom then, since like I just cleared up plain versus the jungle, but let's just stick with the narrative. What's out there bigger than a lion? Hippos, elephants. Now, low key, everybody's scared of an elephant. If you watch Natural Geographic like I do, you're going to see that. But they don't get the title of king. So even though the elephant is the biggest, the elephant doesn't get the title of king. The cheetah, motherfuckers be like, well, the lion's not the fastest, no, but well, what's faster than a damn lion? A cheetah? A goddamn cheetah ain't nothing. No lion faster than no cheetah. You ever seen a cheetah run? They moving. We talking about like 65, 70 miles per hour. I'm talking about getting like a car. Pushing. It's running up on shit quick. Well, you said the lion's not the smartest. Well, what's smarter than a lion? What's not smarter than a lion? Look, think about it. It's all type of animals. Have you seen the goddamn the way other animals hunt? The way they move? The way those birds, those vultures, those eagles, some of those snakes, like them cobras, like them spiders. The spiders set traps. That's why they set the web up. They make it look all beautiful and shit. It's a trap. You come out there like, oh, you a little insect or something, looking like, oh my God, look at this beautiful. It's a trap. You sitting up there stuck like, The motherfucking spider come like, yeah, I got something for you. So the lion's not even the smartest. They're not even the quickest or the most athletic. You would have to get that to like a mongoose. What you mean a mongoose? Have you seen a mongoose? Mongooses eat snakes, cobras, black mambas, all type of snakes, the most poisonous, fastest snakes in the world. Mongooses eat them motherfuckers for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Why is the king of the jungle considered a lion? Why is the lion considered the king of the jungle? The only thing that sets everybody apart from that lion is mentality. It's the mentality of the lion. Ferocious, vicious, hunter, savage, brutal, will fight to the death. You ever seen one lion? I've watched one female lion fight a whole pack of hyenas to the death. I'm talking about a pack of hyenas. I'm talking about it's like 12, 13 hyenas. And they probably got her, but boy, she fought to the death. I've seen one lioness get saved by the male lion. Like 1 or 2 lions could take on a whole dozen of hyenas easy. Why? Because it's the mentality. So what I'm saying is lions are vicious. That's why they say the pride of a lion. That's why they say Judah is the lion of the tribes of Israel. They reference Judah as the lion, the king. You got to have heart. So when you get up in a lion's den, it ain't nothing but killers. It's nothing but killers. Nothing but shit that's not playing nor fucking around with you. One strike, one pause, just bow. It's over. Do you listen to how they sound? A lion? When you watching National Geographic, you don't even have to watch National Geographic. They just got reels of shit on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok all day. It'd be like 5 or 6 minute clips of lions and all type of animals, but just look at them lions. Look how they sound when they're attacking, when they're fighting, when they eat. Listen to that sound. Listen to that shit. That should have hit you in your heart. All you hear is now just imagine being in a den of them. Being in a den of them. Man, they took Daniel, threw him in a den of lions, killers, assassins, hitmen, hit women, not playing no games. They are not playing top-notch predators, top-notch hunters. The only way Daniel survived because he had faith. Because just like in X-Men, when Wolverine was living out in the woods at one point, and he was running across the mountain lions and the bears, and then they asked Wolverine. Wolverine went to a bar to have a drink. You got to watch X-Men to know who Wolverine is. If you don't know about X-Men and Wolverine and Marvel Comics, I'm sorry, I don't know. But Wolverine is a savage. Let me just say that. I mean, a vicious, ruthless savage. Hitter, killer, assassin, all that. He went to a bar. He was chilling. And somebody asked him, they was like, hey, man, why are you up there with all the animals, bro? Like, what's up? What's going on? Why they ain't did nothing to you? And then somebody else chimed in and said, yeah, because them animals recognize one of their own. Because those animals recognize one of their own. So in other words, Daniel was a savage. You don't think Daniel was a savage? Daniel was a savage. You got to be a savage to just walk into the lion's den like, all right, I'm in the lion's den. I'm not finna turn on God for y'all. Y'all just gonna have to just throw me into the lion's den. All right, whatever. It's cool. It don't matter. I'm still loyal to myself. I still understand my relationship and connection with the divine. I'm not betraying that relationship of myself and the Most High for nobody. A savage even facing death. They're like, bro, we're gonna kill you. As a matter of fact, we're gonna have these lions kill you. Dang, like, I don't give a fuck. Throw me in that shit. Let's go. When they ran up on Dang, closed the gate, them lions ran up on Dang, like, sniffing him. They was up on him. Don't you think they didn't sniff him out? And then just sit there and just look at him like, no, hell no. Be realistic. They ran up on him just like how your dog do. If anybody got dogs, your dog will run up on anybody, whether they gonna do something to him or not. They gonna sniff him. Imagine some big ass 300-pound ass female lions, and you see a couple 400-pound male lions, big old mangs, sitting back, running up, walking up on you like sniffing you out. Like, what's up? Let's do something. Say something. They're like, oh shit, this motherfucker one of us. Oh shit, this motherfucker's a savage. You mean to tell me they threw you up in here with us? He making cool with him. He like, yeah, I'm a savage too. I'm a beast. What's up? They have to respect it. Like, oh. So in other words, sometimes motherfuckers, some of these people, they gonna throw shit at you and you gonna whoop some shit out. And the motherfuckers gonna respect the fuck out of you. Like, ooh, I ain't gonna lie. I don't like him, but I respect him. And me personally, I tell people all the time, you ain't gotta like me, but you gonna fucking respect me. You're not gonna disrespect me. That's what. All right, do it if you want to. You don't gotta like me. I don't care. So what? You don't like me. I don't like nobody. Who gives a fuck? I don't care. I didn't ask nothing for you. I'm not asking you for nothing, but you're gonna respect me though, and that's how you gotta be with them. Life is gonna put you in a lion's den sometime. You're gonna have some people out here gonna try to put you in a lion's den. It could be your family, it could be your friends, your co-workers, that sorority, that frat, whatever organization you're a part of. Them motherfuckers, if they with that bullshit, if they hating on your light, they hating on your anointing, they hating on anything about you, they're gonna try to put you in that lion's den. Because that's where they gonna figure, okay, whew, we ain't got to worry about them no more. We got this fake Messiah out the way. This so-called second coming of Christ or whatever. We got them out the way. We ain't got to worry about that no more. Next thing you know, you friends with the lions. They done opened up the thing. They looking in there to see blood and guts and brains everywhere and shit. You in there petting the lions and shit. They like, I know the fuck you lying. I know you lying. I threw all type of spell work. I done did all type of black magic. I done did everything to set this person up to make them lose their job. I done did everything to just whatever, depending on whatever situation you in, the worst case situation, they've done it. And you survive. That let them know right there. And what happened after Daniel came out of that lion's den? What happened? Wasn't them same motherfuckers put into the lion's den? Didn't the king say, oh, okay, you know what? For your treachery, for what we seen, you get into the lion's den. Again. So goes back to what we said again. When you come out your dark night of the soul, when you're that phoenix that rose from the ashes, because you got to know what that phoenix is. When you was broken down into pieces, and you may have had your days where you was depressed, you wasn't feeling good. Maybe you was probably smoking more, drinking more, sitting in the dark more, being disconnected from life more. You was really going through whatever it was that you was going through for whatever reason that you was going through it. And people judged you when you responded or acted a certain way. They did. And probably with some of the people that helped toss you in there, probably kicked you while you was down. You probably lost a loved one. You probably mourning because your mama, your daddy, or your sister, or your brother, or your cousin, maybe even a child passed away, unfortunately. And people kicked you while you was down. Them motherfuckers, where was they at? They so quick to judge. They so quick to say some shit about you because they want that narrative to get out. But one day, you just had to shake it off. That's all. You human. You had to shake it off. It's okay. It don't make you What I want some of y'all to realize is just because you have a bad day, a bad moment, a bad week, a bad month, that don't define who the fuck you are. So what? So what? So what if you got angry? So what if you said something you probably didn't mean to say or whatever? So what if you did something that you wish you could have had back at that moment? So what? Let he who was without sin cast the first stone. People love to try to judge and pass judgment on motherfuckers all the goddamn time. And it be them same people that couldn't do 10%, 25%, 50% of what the fuck you been through. So fucking what? Because guess what? When they get tossed in that lion's den, just like motherfucking people that set up Daniel to get up in there, did they make it out the lion's den? No. Fuck no. And every dog has his day. Every dog has his day. Everybody's not always up and everybody's not always down. That's why they have that saying, be careful who you step on while you up, because that may be the same motherfucker you passing on your way down and they going up. That's why they say in the Bible, the meek shall inherit the earth. The first shall be last. You got to be careful about who you talking about and talking shit and being arrogant with, being all prideful and puffed up. I'm tired of him. I'm tired of her. And oh, man, shut the fuck up. Who is you? Okay, get into the lion's den. Get into that fiery furnace. And when we see you come out, then we can have a discussion. Or can you get in there? You know what I mean? Me personally, I respect people that's like, nah, I can't get in that lion's den. I ain't gonna lie. Don't even dare put me in the fiery furnace. Don't put me into the lion's den. I am not gonna make it. I can respect that. So if I can respect that, you respect me. I'm telling you, everybody's not built the same. That's why everybody doesn't get the same results in life. How could you? How could a janitor get paid as much as a doctor? Does that make sense? No, because of the work that the doctor put in, the type of work that the doctor do versus the janitor. Not to shit on janitors. Salute to the janitors, but I'm just saying, you ain't doing open heart surgeries, motherfucker. You ain't out here performing people. Have you ever done a worked on a body with a gunshot victim and shit? No, you putting Fabuloso in the toilet and shit, right? Okay, cool. I'm not mad at you. Again, no. Personally, from nobody example, I'm not shitting on people that do that. I'm just saying there's a difference. Don't be humble. Some people just don't want to be humble. They want to be just as equal. No, you're not. No, you're not. And that's part of the problem. You want to be, no, you're not. Daniel was the shit. Daniel and his friends were the shit. That's why they walked out of that fiery furnace. That's why Daniel walked up out of that lion's den. That's why Daniel was in captivity, and throughout everything, Daniel did not become hardened in his soul. He still had love for God, love for people, love from himself. He kept his connection. He was still charitable. He didn't walk around and take his anger and frustration out on people. See, motherfuckers will do that and swear up and down. It's like, you can't do that. That shows right there you got work to do. How? You turned your back on God because what? Well, I couldn't pay my rent today, so I'm mad. See? Yep, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Yeah, that's the names I was looking for earlier. I couldn't think. All I could think was Meshach. I couldn't think of it. Thank you, Puffy. Thank you. Daniel was with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. That's what I'm talking about. There we go. There we go. But you know what I'm saying? You got to be secure in who you were, in who you are. Excuse me, in who you are. You got to be. Because they're going to put you to the test over and over and over and over and over again. They're going to try. They're going to try. But you got to be so sound that when you in that fiery furnace, you got zen. When you in that lion's den, you got zen. And that's what we see a lot of people don't have. That's why a lot of women, A lot of men, when they're in these relationships and they get their feelings hurt and they get their heart crushed, what do people say? I'm never going to love again. I'm not dealing with no more men. I'm not dealing with no more women. So now you start doing shit against what's according to the God in nature, right? Now you just don't give a fuck about nobody, right? Get out of here with that shit. Get out of here with that shit. Anybody got time for that? See, you was in that fiery furnace, you was in that lion's den, and you crumbled. You supposed to be like, yeah, my relationship was bullshit. This motherfucker tried to diss me, tried to leave me out, but you know what? I'm good. I'm blessed. I got my sanity. I got my health. I got everything that I motherfucking need. And I'm still going to have my 10 of cups because that's what I'm promised. So I don't need them. I don't need whoever. I'm going to be good irregardless of wherever it lands. Whether it's with them, somebody else, by myself, 10 of cups, baby. That's the promise that the Most High gives when you are faithful. That's the promise that your divine spirit team gives when you are faithful. That's the promise your ancestors ride with you when you faithful, when you loyal to the soil. You got to be loyal to the soil, though. You got to be ready to face death, like Daniel and his friends, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. You got to be willing to face death. You got, and not just willing to face it and they're like, oh, we just playing. Nah, they're going, oh, you want to die? All right. They're going to put you in there, and for some reason, you're just not going to die. Everybody else would have died. You're not going to die. There you go. There you go. There you go. Somehow you made it out. There you go. And you just got to do that shit. You just have to do that shit. And don't let nothing change you, no matter what you do. Stay loyal to the soil. Keep your faith, just like Daniel. You get into a car accident, you lose your job, you ain't got no money like that, your kids is acting up, your husband tripping, your wife tripping, your family tripping, your co-workers tripping. All of that shit is just trying to turn you over to the dark side to make you start feeling resentful, to make you start feeling negative energy and all type of bullshit. Don't do it. Don't go for it. Fuck all that. You ain't got to do it. Just stay down and dedicated to who and what you are, and you're going to be all right. You're going to get what was promised. You're going to get what you're supposed to get. You're going to get your just due. All right. So, hey, man, this was episode 5, I think. Yeah, we got 3 more episodes in the season. Look, we more than halfway done with the season. We only got 3 more. We got 3 more episodes, and then we on hiatus again, man. So now I hope y'all got something out of this. Like I said, this comes from the book of Daniel in the Bible. Just look it up. Again, I'm not a preacher, I'm not a prophet, but I like the Bible. I like stuff like that. I like the Quran. I like the Torah. I like different schools of thoughts. I don't care what it is because I understand the stories. And for me, when I read about the stories and I go through the metaphors and I start breaking down stuff, I like the movies. I like Marvel Comics. I like DC because, again, when I start going through the origin stories and the purpose of this movie, and I start listening to the villain and I'm listening to the good guy, it's just relatable. I could break it down. I'm like, oh, okay, ooh, I could, you know what I mean? And it's all like that on purpose. So I'm just saying, y'all can do the same thing. I'm not saying like I'm just some special person that y'all can't do the same shit. No, I mean, it ain't for everybody though. It ain't for everybody. This show ain't for everybody. I'm telling you. This show ain't for everybody. It ain't. And I don't give a shit. Yeah, like my king said, I told you, kings, right? Kicking it in God's sanctuary. That's why I got it. Kings, baby. That's what a king is. When you're a king, you royalty, you kicking it in God's sanctuary, man, all day. Okay. And we LA, Los Angeles. Don't get it twisted. Oh man, you just got through talking about God. I know me. I'm faithful to me. I'm going to be me. Forget all that being perfect stuff. It ain't about being perfect. No one's ever going to be perfect in their action and in their ways. It's all about your heart. I bet you my heart is probably bigger than yours, though. While you talking all that shit, I bet you my heart is bigger, stronger, and built for the long haul. You're going to tap out soon as one little thing can't go your way. You sensitive, ready to cry, ready to fold, ready to just whiny. Nah, I get it. I'm loyal to the soil. I'm solid. I'm 10 toes down. 10 toes down with myself, my divine, all that. I'm 10 toes down. And anybody that I roll with, I'm 10 toes down. You're going to get on my nerves. I don't give a fuck. Still love you. I'm 10 toes down, long as you 10 toes down. You give up, I give up. You tap out, I tap out. I'm not going to do more of all that. All right, man. So with that being said, man, your boy Noble Alexander, I love y'all. Y'all stay faithful. You stay loyal, man. Don't let nothing try to deter you from what you need to do. Whatever God gave you to do, whatever your vision is, whatever your purpose is, do it. If you don't know your purpose, find it. Start tapping into it. Ask God to reveal it to you so you can start fulfilling your life's contract, because that's why you put here on this earth. You're not put here on this earth to work for other people and retire and die and all this little weird shit. It's the reason that you were born. Now, I don't know if you're the generational curse breaker, or maybe you're not the generational curse breaker. You're here to assist the person that is the generational curse breaker. That's all right too. Just stay true to you. That's a path too. There's a calling for that too. There's a reward for that too. Everybody want to be the captain. Everybody want to be the leader. Everybody want to be the emperor. Everybody want to be the queen. Everybody can't be the captain. Everybody can't be the leader. Everybody can't be the empress. Everybody can't be the emperor. But those, that captain, that leader, that emperor, that empress, they still need people around them. Maybe you one of those people, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. That's awesome. Shit, maybe I'm that for somebody. You know how happy I would be to find out one of my friends or relatives or somebody I know is the emperor or the empress, and we cool. I'm about to be like, hey, yo, what we doing? I'm not finna feel like, well, I want to be the emperor. Oh, get your ass out of here. You ain't surviving no fiery furnace. You ain't doing that. Shut up. Stop. Get out of your ego. Get out of your vanity. Get out of your ego. Get out of your vanity. That's not for you. And you can't handle that. And life will put you to the test and will give it to you just to show. And then you're going to watch everything crumble around you. So with that being said, I love y'all. Peace and blessings. Stay looking out for the next episode because it's going down. Peace.